January 6th was not an insurrection, not an insurrection. No matter how much they hype this, exaggerate it, sensationalize it, lie about it, it was not an insurrection. They are doing all those things to achieve even more political power. But the lies and the distortions, not fair to anyone. What they're trying to do really is cancel Trump supporters, or at least tarnish us for possibly having, I don't know, did we have something to do with this? Of course not. This was a riot. It was a bad day. But this, what they say about it, is not true.
This was the most violent and destructive assault on the Capitol, breaching of the Capitol, since the War of 1812.
The U.S. Capitol suffered its worst security breach since the War of 1812.
Nobody's attacked Congress since 1812.
It was the worst attack on the Capitol since the War of 1812.
Wow. All speaking from the same talking points memo and all speaking incorrectly about our history. Now, the War of 1812 was a big deal, and it was very, very bad. The Brits basically burned down the entire city. But a lot of bad things have happened since inside the Capitol. In 1998, 2 Capitol Hill police officers were shot and killed, Detective Gibson and Officer Chestnut. They were shot and killed by an anti-government lunatic who got inside the Capitol and went on a shooting spree. That was very, very bad. What do you think the families of those officers think and feel when they say January 6th was worse than that? It wasn't. It wasn't. How about 1983, when a bomb went off outside of the Senate? That was a very, very big deal. No one was injured, but it shut down business. In 1954, a gunman got inside the House of Representatives and actually shot 5 members of Congress. It's a Puerto Rican nationalist, and this was a very, very big deal. Shot from inside the House, from the gallery up there. 5 members of Congress were shot. Closer to the White House in 1950, if they call this an attack on democracy, there was an assassination attempt at Blair House, right across the street from the White House. President Truman was staying there temporarily while they were renovating the White House. A Secret Service agent was killed and several were wounded. Also in 1915, a big stick of dynamite went off inside the Capitol building, right outside the United States Senate. This was big, bad stuff. That has happened, and a lot of it worse than what happened on January 6th. And keep in mind, on January 6th, Capitol really wasn't out of commission. They had to clean it up, but a few hours later, it was back to business, back to the electoral count. A lot of folks wanted to see a fuller debate, but that did not happen. All right, so should we have a commission? A real commission to find out what happened on January 6th? I actually think a real one would be great, but apparently the one they're considering, not so great. There are certain things they will omit, certain things they will look at. It seems designed to embarrass Republicans and not get the real answers that we need. Questions like this. What happened with those barricades? Why were some officers allowing protesters onto the steps of Capitol Hill? Have you seen this? No one has explained what this was all about. And this happened all over Capitol Hill that day. You'll see in another portion here, these barricades being removed by police officers so these people can get inside the Capitol building. And then there were others, Capitol Hill police officers, just standing by. Just welcome to the Capitol. What was all of this about? Also, and you've seen this by now, the Horns guy and others like him just allowed into the Senate. They were just allowed into the Senate. At one point, that Capitol Hill police officer, is basically saying, all right, guys, time's up. Do you mind leaving?
Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing?
We will. I've been making sure they ain't disrespecting the place.
Okay, just want to let you guys know, this is like the sacredest place.
I know.
So why was that happening on the Senate side? Meanwhile, over on the House side, anybody who got within 10 feet of the House chamber was shot and killed. That's happening on the House side. You saw what was happening in the Senate side. Makes no sense. No warning. Ashley Babbitt was shot and killed, and nobody seems to care. And for what I'm told about this commission, it will specifically not ask questions about this matter. It's like having the 9/11 Commission and not investigating the plane crashes of September 11, 2001, the hijacked planes. It's ridiculous. We need and deserve answers. And I want some questions asked of the media, too. What was their role in all of this? And, you know, I find it still astounding that in the aftermath of January 6th, the media didn't mention that a Trump supporter was shot and killed, an unarmed Trump supporter. There's Savannah Guthrie the next morning in front of the Capitol, in that building, right behind her. That's where Ashley Babbitt was possibly murdered. We don't have the full story yet. We need answers. But most of all, you know who needs to be questioned? This one.
I am calling for the resignation of the chief of the Capitol Police, Mr. Sund, and I have received notice from Mr. Irving that he will be submitting his resignation.
What did she know? When did she know it? What was her role in all of this? I don't think she should have any position right now in establishing how this is all going to be investigated. That's a massive, massive conflict of interest. One more thing. I am sick of the lies told about this day, especially about Officer Sicknick, Brian Sicknick. Now, he's a hero in my book the day he volunteered to be a Capitol Hill police officer. But there's something very, very wrong about all of this. We were told for weeks that he was, actually months, that he was killed by Trump supporters with a fire extinguisher. That is not true. But why haven't we been told the entire story? And the Capitol Police, quite frankly, have been extremely evasive on all of this. And this funeral, almost a month later, held, I'm sorry, but it struck me as political theater. It did. And meanwhile, do you think this guy is really, really seeking the truth as he said he was on Inauguration Day?
There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and a responsibility as citizens, as Americans, and especially as leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and protect our nation, to defend the truth and defeat the lies.
The first part of that, I think he was spot on, and he revealed himself again. Lies told for power and profit. Absolutely, Joe. We'll be right back.